This episode of the Sensibly Cynical podcast is sponsored by TysonSaner.com. My friend Tyson Saner is an amazing creator. On his website, you can find links to The Antisocial Show, Succotash Shut-In, links to, his SoundCloud, gaming channel, and more. So, head on over to TysonSaner.com now. Welcome to a very special episode of the Sensibly Cynical podcast. My name, of course, is Sean, and today it is all about Batman. Yes, it is finally time for the Batman of all Batmans tournament. I'm so excited to be joined by Jaden and Liam of the No Sequel podcast for this amazing tournament. So, to set things up, I will bring them on and we will basically seed Batman movies. And then go through each matchup, pick a winner. There'll be three of us, so it'll either be a 2-1 win for a movie or a straight sweep, 3-0. And finally, one of the 4, maybe 5 movies will be crowned the greatest Batman movie of all time, and the winner of the Batman of all Batmans movie tournament. I'm not going to tell you what the movies are now. You will have to stay and listen to the podcast, starting right now. All right, everybody. With me on the line, they are indeed the co-hosts of the No Sequel podcast, Jaden and Liam. What's going on, guys?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
It's a new thing. This is our first time being on a guest stars.
Yeah, I feel like the old guy. You guys are young bucks, right?
We're new to the game, and we can tell Sean has done it for a long time. So he's gonna be, mentor.
I'm trying to be humble about it, but the podcast has kind of grown a little bit. I just recently interviewed some good bands and stuff, so...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, they'll email me and be like, hey... But that just happened. I feel like you guys have a cool theme going.
We found that the name really, as we were just saying off the air, the name is really so important.
All right, well, before we continue, who's who?
Okay, so I'm Jaden, the more cooler voice, and Liam is more of the weirder voice, He's kind of a weird guy, Liam.
I'm waiting for Liam to talk. I'm like, Earth to Liam?
No. Jaden, you just talking over me before this, but I would say Jaden. I often have to explain the movies to him. I feel like
Liam. If you listen to our podcast, we go back and forth all the time because he's just that weird.
Before we get to the topic, which is we're doing Batman of all Batman movie tournament. Yes. Let's talk about the history of your podcast. We briefly just mentioned it, the No Sequel podcast. So talk about the genesis of it, the story.
Yeah, so we both kind of it's weird. According to him, he said I mentioned it to him, but he mentioned it.
No. Okay, I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
You posted something on I think it was your Snapchat story about something to do with some movie. I think it was a review of a movie, and I was like. And I commented something, then you said something, and I was like, you know what, we should do a movie podcast. We weren't
that close of friends. No.
I was saying it as a joke. I was sort of yeah, we should do that. And then you were like, yeah, actually, I've been meaning to do that. And I was like,
we did a bunch of practices, and we did it, and then we didn't think it was actually going to happen. Then we paid the money, and it cost a lot of money. So then we're just I'm stuck with you for a whole year.
Hosting isn't cheap. I thought the hosting was going to be cheaper.
What's the premise of the actual show? So what do you guys do?
We have a system, kind of. We broke it down the show. So we have a main movie that we review. But throughout we have some fun games and twists. We do a news segment. We do a game segment. Liam, you want to add up?
Yeah, we we have the recommendation segment at the end, which is always funny because we forget about it every time. We're always scrambling, like, what should we recommend? What should we recommend? We have sound effects and we have.
It's a fun thing.
Try to do like funny subject matter. Like I did one on MySpace, and I did one on, because I'm old enough to remember MySpace and be on it and everything like that. And then I did one on the art of trolling, like how to be a good troll.
Oh, that's good.
So, but the ratings hit the fan, so I was like, all right, it's time for the specialty topics to die.
Yeah, we're actually, hopefully that our new episode's coming out, so you know how the Snyder Cut's coming out on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it early, so we're reviewing it. Coming out today, it's a spoiler-free review, so hopefully that will do good.
All right, well, let's not bury the lead too far. So we're going to talk about Batman movies. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to name the 4 movies that we're going to rank 1 to 4, obviously. 1 being the best, 4 being the worst. And then we will go off topic a little bit, talk about the actors who played them. And then I have an interesting question to pose to you guys later on whether Joker, the one with Joaquin Phoenix, should be included. So maybe if we agree that it should be included, then we'll give the 1 seed a bye, and we'll have 5 versus 2 and, 4 versus 3.
I'm interested in that argument.
That's good. We're ready to argue you.
All right, so let's get to it. Let's talk about the 4 movies. So, Liam, what's the first movie on our list?
Okay, so we're first starting off with Batman 1989, the one with Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Then we're doing Dark Knight with Christian Bale. Then Batman Forever with Val Kilmer. Then Batman v Superman with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, let's get to it. So,
Who wants to go first?
Let's go in order. So, Jaden, you're first. Who's your number 1 of the 4? I'll write it down.
Favorite Batman? It is Michael Keaton, so 1989 Batman.
So, what about you, Liam?
I would have to I'd say Dark Knight is the better Batman movie, but Michael Keaton's the better Batman.
See, that's the problem.
However we want to sort that out.
All right.
Dark Knight
It's just a better all around,
So, one of you is 1989 Batman, one is Dark Knight, and I guess I'm the tiebreaker. I'm going to go with The Dark Knight as our number 1 movie, just because I think that the combination was, most even, I think. I mean, if you rank the Batmans, I think Bale is behind Keaton, but Ledger is the number 1 Joker, and I think that combination puts it over the top. I mean,
that is true.
R.I.P. the late Heath Ledger. I mean, the one in the Steelers Stadium and stuff.
That is good, but Jack Nicholson is also a classic. So
the problem is Batman kills in the 1989 movie.
Well, there'll be our top 2 seeds thing, because obviously 2 is going to be 1989 Batman, right? That's number 2.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So
and then now we're down to Batman Forever versus Batman versus Superman for the 3rd seed.
I'm just going to go right away. Batman versus Superman. Of course, I love Henry Cavill.
Ooh, I don't know. I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes, and it has Batman Forever better rated.
It doesn't. Rotten Tomatoes is off. The theory is that Marvel pays.
That's nonsense. Come on. No, that's a dumb. You say that every episode. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, okay, if you say Batman Forever is better, that's the stupidest thing I've heard.
No, okay. Here's what I want you to know. Why can't DC pay Rotten Tomatoes?
Because Marvel pays more.
But okay.
There's only one person who's going to win.
Marvel is paying. Do you think Marvel's like, okay, look, Batman?
No, they're not paying. They got their critics.
Okay, but why are they giving bad reviews to DC movies? Do you think they're paying extra for that?
They don't like them.
Let's go around the horn. Jaden, what's your vote?
Batman versus Superman.
Liam?
This is tough. Probably, I'm gonna say Batman v Superman. The extended cut is better for sure. So I'm gonna say that.
You argue with me, but you pick the same thing as me, Liam.
So Batman versus Superman's our 3 seed, and then the last is Batman Forever. So let's talk these out. Let's talk these out first. Let's talk about the 1989 Batman. So, what do you guys like about the 1989 Batman? Liam, you go first.
All right, I think the atmosphere atmosphere is really good. I think it really captures. It feels like, it feels a bit like the animated series. Obviously, the animated series came after, so it took inspiration from that, I'm assuming. But it's best atmosphere. It's got the Joker. Well, second best Joker is still really great. I don't know. It's got it feels like Batman, despite breaking many Batman rules, such as having like Batman kill. But it captures the right feeling, I think. Gotham somewhat. It's a little bit timeless, not as timeless as it is in like the animated series again, but that's my case.
Okay.
That's a good case.
All right, and then I like 1989 Batman because, I feel like that started the Batman craze in America. That was the starting point, I think. So that is number 2 due to I broke the tie. So who voted Dark Knight with me, number 1?
You guys did.
So those are the top 2, right? And I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes. I'm a big Rotten Tomato guy. You guys know Dark Knight got 94% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
It's pretty high.
Like, they were infatuated. It was like that hot chick in high school.
Yeah, this is like it's like everyone's favorite superhero movie.
Yeah.
I would say not my favorite superhero movie, but one of my favorite movies, if that makes sense.
See, if my man Zack Snyder directed it, he would be my favorite movie, but...
Yeah, I mean...
Christopher Nolan.
The Zack Snyder addiction.
I mean, Heath Ledger posthumously won, Best Actor?
He was great. I'm not a fan of Christian Bale. I don't like him.
Well, we're going to get to the Batman rankings later.
The movie's really solid. I like the story, but I just, like, sometimes you can't enjoy a movie with the certain character, so I think that's a big part.
Hey, I started talking about the number 2 movie just to help you out. I felt bad.
Yeah, I know.
Well, let's go to our number 3 seed. Number 3 was... What was it? It was Batman vs Superman. All right, I'm gonna let you guys talk about that because I got Trump 2-1.
Okay, Batman v Superman. Well, it was the first time Batman and Superman have appeared together in a movie, so that's cool.
That's true.
I think it captured the tone of Batman perfectly. I think it didn't feel right for Superman, I must say.
If Superman lost, Superman would never lose.
No, I think I liked it. No, that's not. It's just that Superman, I think it too often made Superman kind of feel dark and gritty like Batman, and there's sort of a disconnect, I think. Lex Luthor it wasn't right. It was just wrong in a way that's hard to describe. It was just like, nope.
It started and stopped, right? Like, didn't they hate each other and then all of a sudden that stopped?
Yeah, because of Martha.
Yeah,
I'm like, and then Wonder Woman, like, all of a sudden, like, I don't know. I didn't like the start-stop of it. That's why I put Batman Forever ahead of it, but...
See, now...
It had good moments, for sure, but it was just... And I think the extended cut makes certain things make a little bit more sense, so it definitely adds to it, but, yeah, it's definitely not top 2.
Well, wasn't Batman Forever, wasn't that with Jim Carrey, right? He was in that one.
Yeah.
I'm a big Jim Carrey guy.
I really like Jim Carrey, but I did not like Two-Face.
We have our 4 seeds. Number 1, to go over it once again before we move on to the next topic. Number 1 is Dark Knight. 2, 1989 Batman. 3, Batman vs. Superman. And 4, Batman Forever. So let's move on to the actual actors that played Batman. Let's rank those. Who's going first?
Oh yeah, I'll go first.
Who's the greatest Batman of all time?
Number 1, Michael Keaton.
Yeah, it's pretty much across the board, right?
Does everyone agree?
Yes.
Number 1 pick. I'll carry the sports for you guys.
Okay. Number 2?
Number 2, I'm going to go with Christian Bale.
I'm going to go with Ben Affleck.
By the way, there's more Batmans, obviously, but we're doing the 4 Batmans of the 4 movies we picked.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go Ben Affleck as well.
Woo.
I think
Ben Affleck's just a great Batman, and he needs a solo film. So
I'll say he really looks like Batman.
All right, so Jaden, give me the hard pitch why I'm wrong.
So pretty much Ben Affleck. We've never seen like a big Ben Affleck. In the comic books, he's a pretty big dude. So I feel like he represents.
I think you mean big Batman. You said big Batman.
Big Batman. He's a big Batman. He fills the suit. Usually, like the bottom of the face is kind of like skinny. Like Christian Bale, he doesn't look right, but Ben Affleck, he's a legend.
So I got I got beat 2-1 on Batman. So that means we got 2 left. Christian Bale and Val Kilmer. So who's up first on number 3?
I'll go. It's Christian Bale.
Both of you pick Christian Bale?
Yeah, then.
All right, I do too. And then Val Kilmer is 4th.
Yes.
All right. So any take on Christian Bale from you guys?
Better Bruce Wayne than Batman.
I am not a fan of him as Batman. I can't. There's nothing really too nice.
No, I disagree with the weird skinny shaming stuff that Jaden's getting into. I'm all about positivity. My main issue is the voice.
Hey guys, it's 2021. Everyone's got to be positive at all times. No negativity. Otherwise, Facebook will put you in jail.
I'm not positive when they mess up Batman. No one messes up my Batman. So
let's talk about. I know we briefly mentioned it earlier about maybe the Joker. Do you guys? What's your pitch? Do you think they should be included into the tournament? The movie Joker.
I could make a case. I have a case.
Yeah, let's just rank all the actors, right?
Oh, you want to rank the Jokers?
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's rank the Jokers, and then we'll decide if the movie Joker should be in the tournament.
Sounds good.
All right, so I wasn't expecting to rank the Jokers, so I'll let you guys rank them.
Okay, so number 1, should we go with Heath?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Number 2, we're going to go with Jack. Do you guys agree?
Obviously. Not even a question.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Number 3, should we go with Joaquin Phoenix? Does that count?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. You're picking Heath Ledger over Joaquin Phoenix? That's a hot take.
Yeah. I really liked Heath, Joaquin, but I don't know.
It's not that hot of a take.
I would put all of them so close together. We're saying, I would only be saying one is barely better than the other.
I'm being a hypocrite because I have Heath Ledger as my reason why Dark Knight's number 1. So, yeah. That's why you guys are here. That put me in line.
Last is Suicide Squad Joker.
All right, well, the main event's the tournament. Well, let's get to the one below the main event.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so the one below the main event is whether the movie Joker should be included into the tournament as the 5th seed. Jaden, you go first. Yay or nay?
Nay. I think it's a spin-off of Batman was barely, he was as a kid. So when I say Batman movie, I mean suited up. So
I don't know. I think, is it an unwritten rule?
I don't see it as a Batman movie. I think it was literally just him as a kid. I'm pretty sure.
I will say, I can see why you want to do it. I'm unsure. I'm not sure if I should weigh in on this because I'm not sure.
Well, you know what direction I'm gonna go in.
You were saying yes.
Well, for good podcasting.
I don't see it.
It takes place in Gotham.
Well, I mean,
it's about Batman's main villain. Has Bruce Wayne in it.
Yeah.
Has family in it. I mean, come on.
But it's the same thing. It's like saying, in Suicide Squad, Ben Affleck was in it. It's not a Batman movie.
Right, but that was different because that wasn't about Batman characters. I mean, it wasn't even Joker's name, but it wasn't Batman. I guess you could say Harley Quinn, but it's about Batman's main enemy, and the Waynes do actually have a somewhat substantial role, and they're important to the plot of the movie.
All right, Liam, you're stalling. Liam.
Yes, I've talked myself into yes.
Oh, so I'm gonna be the.
You guys win, I guess.
Hey, did I actually say I was gonna say yes?
I'm reading your mind.
Hey, for podcasting, I'm gonna include him. Why not?
Yeah, so we'll include him.
All right, so that means that Dark Knight gets a bye. So our first round matchups are number 5, Joker, versus number 2, 1989 Batman. And then 4 versus 3. So 4 is Batman versus Superman. And 3 is Batman Forever. Hello, everybody. Let me tell you about this amazing gaming channel on YouTube. Conveniently titled Tyson Saner Gamer. He revisits old classic video games in a comedic yet insightful manner that is a must see for any and all gamers. So, once again, that is Tyson Saner Gamer on YouTube. All right, the time is here. Let's see who wins the Batman of all Batmans movie tournament with special guests Jaden and Liam of the No Sequel podcast. Number 2 versus number 5. So it's 1989 Batman versus Joker.
Okay, I go 1989.
Why?
It's literally, it's not a Batman movie. It's not a Batman movie, so 100% Batman 1989 is a better movie. And I'm not saying Joker's not good. Like it's for me, it's like really a masterpiece. It's really good. It's not a Batman movie to me, but movie wise, it's a better movie. But if I were to like rewatch something, which that's usually how I go by, I would go 1989.
Jaden, I'm sorry, but you are so wrong. It's hard for me to even.
I go Batman 1989.
It's Joker. I'm sorry. I can keep on watching it, keep on rewatching it, but I can't at the same time. Like for me, I grew up with Batman 1989, so I feel like
grew up. You weren't even born.
Yeah, but I was raised watching it.
That barely counts. Come on. Hey,
Liam. So I'm breaking the tie. Yeah, I think the great podcasting ends here. I'm going to go 1989 Batman in an upset for me.
Oh, Liam.
Unbelievable.
This is what happens when you just speak.
I had to include it just for good podcasting, but...
Yeah, Liam, just for good podcasting.
It's a better movie, though.
It is a better movie, but it barely being... Like, it's at that point where you barely include it into it being a Batman movie, but the fact that it's barely considered one hurts it.
That's true, Liam. Come on.
So, Batman moves on to the finals. All right. So we got our 3 versus 4. That's Batman Forever versus Batman versus Superman.
Batman versus Superman. What do you guys think?
Did we already do this one, or am I going crazy?
We did, but we're actually, that was to rank them to get into seeds. But now it's the actual deal. Now they're actually facing off.
Liam's truly not a sports guy.
You got to rank them first, Liam.
Yeah, come on, Liam. Like
even he knows, even Jaden knows you have to rank them first to have them go up.
Come on, listen to this.
Because how are you going to do a tournament if you don't rank them first?
Jaden, you don't know what the hell.
But in his defense, it's repetitive because we ranked them against each other to get to 3-4. So I get his point. At the same time, we got to rank them first, guys. So who's the winner?
I go Batman vs. Superman, and I think I explained it pretty well because it's just a better movie.
All right, so we're going to go Batman vs. Superman because obviously it's going to be the same vote. So Batman vs. Superman, we have that. We have Dark Knight 1, and then, of course, the 1 seed moves on. So now we have a good old-fashioned 3-way.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, good.
This is terrible. All right. So, obviously, we're going to dismiss Batman versus Superman, right? I mean, that doesn't hold up against Dark Knight or 1989 Batman. Let's talk about something else, and then the last thing we'll do on the podcast is get a winner. All right. Okay. So let's leave it like it is, and then we'll come back to it later. So let's talk about this new. I don't know which one of you said it, but they wanted to talk about the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. Who was that?
I believe it was me.
Okay, so why did you want to talk about the Batman?
Well, we did like a whole poll on Instagram. Lots of people were requesting Robert Pattinson. So I think we're going to just give it to the people.
I saw that you did an Instagram story for this podcast.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated, by the way. I appreciated.
Yes, of course.
So let's talk about it. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I really hope it's going to be good. Like, the trailer didn't show much because they weren't done finishing, which actually yesterday they finished wrapping up, I'm very excited for it. That's done. It's weird. I feel like it's weird filming things during COVID for some reason. It's a really weird, awkward thing. But I'm really excited for it. I hope he's really good.
Like the scene where he goes, "I am vengeance."
Oh, yeah, and he beats up the dude.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good stuff. I just saw the trailer like 10 minutes before we went on air.
Oh, Oh, yeah, fresh in your head.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer is phenomenal. It's hard to talk about something when we've really seen so little of it. I have a feeling it's going to be really good, but only time will tell. I don't know.
For me, this is going to be it's like a spin-off movie like Joker.
So, Jaden, what was your reaction when you found out that Robert Pattinson of Twilight was going to be Batman?
I'm going to be honest, I don't hate Twilight. I saw it, yeah.
Unbelievable. How are you the cooler one, Jaden?
Because I'm Team Edward, so that's why I'm the cooler one.
Jay, this is embarrassing. I'm about to kick you out of this podcast.
I always saw him, he's been in lots of movies. I feel like he's kind of, earned some more respect ever since doing, Tenet and stuff. I feel like he was going to work perfect as Batman, and especially as, more of a detective Batman. So it's not, the big, buff dude. So I feel like it's, the beginning of Batman, and I'm very excited to see what he does with the role.
So, for new listeners, what episode would you start them at? What's your best episode of all time? Where would you suggest people start if they wanted to listen to the No Sequel podcast?
Liam, I think you know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I do. So my thing would be, I would say, look at what we've reviewed and think about, which franchise or which movie or whatever is your favorite. And that's where I would start. That's how, when I find, a new channel or something or podcast, that's where I would start, and that's where I'd recommend starting.
I thought you were going to say WandaVision.
No, I was just getting to that. I would say my favorite, the one that I would start with, would be WandaVision, because that was kind of our first special episode, and I think there's a lot to say about that show in particular.
Yeah, I agree with Liam. Probably for the most, we messed around a lot, but this one was actually a really solid episode. WandaVision. For a fun episode, I would go freaky for some reason, just clicked with me.
So we have our main event. We have our 3 finalists. Yes. We have 1989 Batman. We have Dark Knight, and I think the third was Batman versus Superman. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. So this is for all the marbles. So who wants to go first?
There we go.
Listen, this will be interesting because if it goes like it did earlier in the episode, Dark Knight's going to win. Because if you remember, those listening as well, Dark Knight won this battle 2-1. It's like Mortal Kombat when you get to the final battle.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the main event.
All right, it's Dark Knight for me.
I'm going to go 1989 Batman.
You're putting the onus on me?
Yeah,
that's rude.
I wanted to be the tiebreaker, but look,
See, it's Sean's podcast.
That's
true.
That's brutal,
that's also true.
See, we're going to go on your podcast and just make you suffer the whole time.
All right.
That's how we are.
I don't know. This is tough. I spent most of the day thinking about this because I assumed that this would be the final decision would be these two. And I went back and forth all day. But R.I.P. Heath Ledger, I'm going to go with The Dark Knight for the win.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice.
I thought you were saying R.I.P. to the movie.
No. R.I.P. Heath Ledger.
Never stood a chance.
Hey, Liam, I bet I could tweet and I could do a little poll and everyone would be like, Batman 1989.
I've got more. I do. I've got about, I don't know what your Twitter followers are. I've got vastly more than you.
What do you guys got coming up, and what would you like to talk about if someone came on?
Liam, you go. You got this.
Okay, so I think, so right now we've been doing a lot of newer movies and movies that have been recently released, and I think at least my goal is to get us to do older stuff. I think that'd be really interesting. Yeah. And I think it would be cool to ask, if we could get some people on, it'd be interesting to ask, about how they got started in the field and
right.
specific questions about their job, stuff like that.
So we talked about your episode, if you were to start. Now, are you guys comedy based? Talk about your theme of the podcast. You go in depth on how, on detail, or do you guys like to joke around?
Yeah, we get the facts down, but we have a little fun throughout the way.
Yeah, I'd say we're more on the funny side than the analytical side.
Yeah, we're we get our points down, but in a fun way.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah, of course.
And where can people find the podcast?
So we're right now on Apple Podcast and on Spotify, and you can listen to us on the website, on the Simplecast website. Just go to our Instagram, the No Sequel Podcast, and go in our bio if you're having a hard time finding it, and all the links are there.
Yeah, make sure to rate us on 5 stars on iTunes. That really helps.
Because our goal actually is to become Rotten Tomato critics, and we need a certain amount of ratings. So
yeah, you want that clout, as the kids say.
Yes.
I'm trying to be hip, I know the words.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a blast for me to have you guys on. You guys keep me young.
Yes.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us.
We didn't know what to expect, but we've had a lot of fun doing this.
Yep.
But all your fans are going to be PO'd that Dark Knight won, right? They're all going to be like, how could you let him do that?
Yeah, they're going to be like...
This guy doesn't know anything.
No. They're gonna side with me. All our wonderful side with me.
I think there'll be some people that would agree with Dark Knight #1.
Yeah.
You guys take it easy, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. There you have it. The winner of the Batman of all Batmans movie tournament, The Dark Knight. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sensibly Cynical podcast. Once again, I would like to thank Jaden and Liam for coming on the podcast today. Please check us out on Twitter at Cynical Sensibly, Instagram Sensibly Cynical Pod, and you can check out our Facebook group. Also, if you could please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, it would be highly, highly appreciated. All right. Once again, please stay safe, mask up, no pun intended, and take care.